What the fuck is up, Milady mateys? So, apparently today it is Valentine's Day, and I thought to myself, what a great opportunity for me to continue my Polish campaign. So, let's get started. So, on the previous episode, we defeated Austria and got some minor gains out of them actually. We only got this tiny state and gave our Romanian ally some land in Transylvania, and I think that I didn't really notice at the time was that because it was a separate peace treaty, somehow Romania wasn't fucking included into it, so they are still continuing their war against the Austrians and the Ottomans. So yeah, that kind of sucks for them. I kind of feel bad for my ally, but hopefully the Italians will be able to make up for my lack of participation at this point. But yeah, I feel that this campaign is ending its final stages right now, but I still don't feel like we have the proper closure to really bring this series to a satisfactory ending. And I believe that this ending that I am seeking out will probably involve either me decisively defeating Germany or Russia. I, I, Ideally, the best target to defeat will be Germany, but it is not that realistic, so Russia may also be a fine option. And speaking of war with Russia, my truce with them ends within around 8 months, maybe 9, so I better get started repairing my armies and preparing for their potential instant war declaration. Plus, we do have to remember that they are allied with France, so maybe that will be problematic, especially if France ends up attacking Italy. And apparently things for Romania are worse than I thought, because somehow Romanian involvement is in this war is somehow separated from the Italian one. So yeah, the Romanians are actually completely fucked. For which I do feel a little bit guilty about, but whatever, let's get started. So, Sweden wants an alliance, and they may actually end up being a very useful asset against the Russians, so I will accept. So, in the economic side of things, I believe that as Poland, I will eventually get some oil RGOs here in Galicia. So, for my next tech, I will invent organic chemistry so that I can build some fuel factories. And apparently, our Romanian ally, against all odds, actually ended up getting lucky and they secured a white peace, thus, they keep their Transylvanian holdings, presumably because the Austrians were anxious to get any peace at all, even a white peace, so that they could focus more against the Italians. That being said, it still appears that the Italian attack will be very hard to contain for the Austrians. And apparently I fucking jinxed it, because just as I say this, a massive rebellion breaks out in Italy. Apparently it is communists. And the Ottomans are also attacking Sicily and Sardinia, so yeah, that kind of sucks for them. Nonetheless, a few days later, a peace is signed, and the Italians, at the very least, managed to secure Tyrol and Venice, which is nice, I guess. They could have gotten more, obviously, if not for this rebellion. Unfortunately, as a result of me having those fucking liberals for so long, I still never really had an opportunity to micromanage my industry. So yeah, my industrialization is kind of in a dreadful state right now. It could be much better than this. And it just appears that both the Turks and the Austrians just can't get a break, because the Russians just declared war on them over this province of Serbia right here. So yeah, this will be interesting, especially as my truce with Russia expires in a few months. So yeah, this may end up being a very useful distraction for me. And yeah, just as I was getting hyped, I got disappointed, because the Austrians ended up being complete pussies and instantly just surrendered basically. Which is good for Serbia, I guess. But still, I didn't even have the opportunity to declare war. And yeah, it just happened. Russia declared war on me. Damn, that sucks, man. And just as I was afraid, the French joined them. And I'm not going to lie, I am on the verge of fucking rage quitting here, because why in the fuck is Italy the war leader? They are not even a fucking great power. Like, they are even behind in rank than me, so what is this shit? Will the fate of the war really depend upon this shithole that is on the verge of collapse and doesn't even have a standing army? What? So yeah, my strategy is basically going to be to just try to fuck up Russia as hard as possible so that I can secure a peace before the Italians betray me. And since they are the war leader, they can easily just negotiate on my behalf for whatever reason and give them my provinces to Russia, which fucking sucks really. Oh my fucking god, you have to be shitting me. So far I have been dealing some crippling defeats to the Russian army so far, and my socialist rebellion is also getting kind of under control. And it is hardly a surprise considering how technologically inferior the Russians are to me, at least on the military sector. So far, I may have killed 100,000, maybe even 200,000 of their soldiers. That being said, I am still not very optimistic because of the Italians right here. I feel like they are going to drag me down, and that this game's decision to make them the war leader is really going to haunt me. Like, I am almost regretting not cancelling my alliance with them right now. So the Italians are appearing to, at the very least, be able to buy some time. You know, they didn't immediately collapse. So who knows, maybe it will be just enough time for me to reach Moscow and get some massive war score gains that will eventually give us a good peace. So I'm looking at the map right here and I am not sure what will be the best of me. Like, do I release Ukraine? Do I release Bielorussia? Do I get some border states for myself? I am not quite sure, actually. And I just realized that I actually have 9 infamy, almost 10. So even if I wanted territory, like maybe get the pre-World War II borders of Poland, it would actually not be very realistic. Plus, these provinces barely have any Poles in them. So yeah, I think that I will try to release Ukraine actually, because it feels like it has the most pops to rob out of Russia. How the fuck did the French army ended up here? Did they like ship it from here all the way to Ukraine? What in the fuck is this? We won a massive battle here in Rovn, which didn't have any right to be that close. It only was this close because of the fucking French that intervened. But yeah, I am glad that we won it because we are on the verge of collapse here on the home front, especially because the Serbians are bringing in reinforcements. Basically, the problem is not that I cannot win battles, the problem is that there are so many battles that my troops do not even have the opportunity to reinforce or reorganize before the next battle is about to happen. And here on Italy, it also appears like the Italian front is basically getting run over, which, you know, it isn't very reassuring. I know that I keep talking about this, but I really fucking wish this worthless country wasn't the leader of the war. It is incredible that the game decided this somehow, for whatever reason. Like, those fuckers didn't even have a standing army. Right now they are just fighting with mobilized troops. It is incredible that the game just decided to give them the leadership. So yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I just lost 2 battles against the Serbians that I had no reason to ever lose, just because my troops were fighting at 0 morale. And it could have taken them like a month to replenish their morale, which is so fucking stupid. So I just got stack wiped for 20,000 troops here, because as I said, I had no morale to fight with. And yeah, let's You know what? I will stop cutting the video. I will just show you the disaster. Uncut. Like, this will probably be the last video for this series. Let's just watch the collapse. Let's just experience the ending. Oh my goodness. We won here. Jesus Christ, lads. What a disaster. Zero morale army here. I need to wait for it to replenish. Another zero morale army here that is about to be destroyed. Yeah, lads, that's pretty much it. The Italians also basically got completely run over. That's the end, basically. Oh my fucking god, the Serbians have a 5 defense general here. And they also rolled excellent rolls. And yeah, my last army got wiped the fuck out. What a fucking disaster, lads. We do have a positive war score, but it doesn't really matter unless they cack out and panic, which I do not expect them to do. It's pretty much over for us. The state of our armies is absolutely fucked. Look at this. The month passed and we barely got any reinforcements. I almost got happy for a second because I saw German troops moving, but it is just a city colonial war. It has nothing to do with this. So yeah, this is my last army. It is so weak and irrelevant, they are just ignoring it. They are not even going for the free stack wipe. What a joke. Like, in the end, what I want to say is that in the end it didn't really matter that the Italians were the world leader, because I was defeated long before they could surrender. But if I wanted to cope about this, I would say that if it wasn't for the Italians basically being a ticking time bomb, I could just turtle up here on the border and play safely, and through defensiveness and using my border as a bottleneck, I could destroy several times more armies compared to me having to actually rush and be on the offensive. In other words, the Italians becoming the world leader forced me to fight recklessly in an attempt to build up war score to avoid an Italian surrender, but as you can see, I just simply didn't have quite enough military output to support such an offensive. Meanwhile, if I could have taken it slowly and destroy the majority of the invading armies in a defensive position, then I believe, even if I didn't win, I would have at least given a far better fight than this. But I am almost certain that I would have been able to win this if I was just alone and didn't have the Italians to worry about. So yeah, lads, that's pretty much it. Entire country is fucking occupied. All my gains were reversed. This is my last army. It is literally worthless. And yeah, let's see how this ends. Will they only settle for Brest, or will they make even greater demands? Even Sweden is getting occupied now that the Russians have properly mobilized. It really is hopeless. Look at them, they have 260 brigades and it is still rising. This number is still rising compared to the 60 brigades they had at the very first weeks of the war. 270. Jesus. They are basically at 300 right now. These fuckers are recruiting faster than I could kill their troops. It is scary actually, how much manpower they have. It didn't really cross my mind how many of them I would have to kill for this offensive to actually be successful. If I actually sat there and made the calculations before I made the decision, then I would have definitely never done this offensive. I would have just sat there defensively, but I would have still lost because then Italy would surrender after this. So yeah, I think it was doomed for the start. It was my fault for not foreseeing this possibility and cancelling the alliance. Although I couldn't possibly expect that a rank 9 secondary power Italy would be the leader before me, a rank 7 primary great power. I just don't understand this. At least it doesn't appear that they are expanding their claims. Maybe they really will only settle for Brest. Oh, speak of the devil, they just expanded their war cult. But yeah, I am also on the verge of bankruptcy here. Greece epically attacking the island of Sicily because they are allied with the Russians. That's epic. So yeah, here is the surrender. They got Brest. They humiliated me, which completely crashed my prestige rating. And this right here is what really remains of my army. So yeah, lads, I think I'm going to take the L here and be done with this series. Like, I throw in the gauntlet. Like, really, I was optimistic at the beginning of this episode, but really things couldn't have possibly gotten any worse. Like, just the combination of everything, Russia going to war with Austria for just a few days before because Austria surrendered immediately, Italy gaining the leadership of the war somehow, which incentivized me to go on the offensive because eventually they would have surrendered on my behalf. My offensive basically starting out good enough but being ultimately hopeless because of the manpower disparity between me and Russia. It really was hopeless. So yeah, I hope that you will be excusing me for ending this series right here. But I really think that I don't have much fun to get out of this campaign anymore. For example, I lost so much prestige that it might take me a ridiculous amount of time to go back to being a great power. I still get fucking liberals in the elections, even though I was neglecting other focuses in favor of going communist. But it just didn't help. I suppose it was too slow or something. And on retrospect, and I said this on the previous episode as well, I should have really encouraged either the reactionaries or the conservatives who already had a strong enough base among the common population. But who knows how I was thinking it. Back then when I started, for whatever reason, I wanted to go communist. Maybe I wanted to do something different for a change, who knows. But yeah, my economy is in the fucking gutter because I didn't have an opportunity to industrialize all game long because of the fucking liberals. And yeah, lads, that's pretty much it. Here are my pops, in case you were curious about it. 69% Polish, almost 23% Ukrainian, almost 6% Jewish, and 2.5% other. The workforce numbers are just dreadful, I have to admit. Like, just barely enough intellectuals to get the RP bonus, and soldiers not even being at 5%. Like, the war is an obvious justification for it, but I also wasn't close to 5% even before the war, and basically almost no fucking craftsmen, 1.6% only. Which means that we basically skipped the entire industrial revolution. Anyways, thanks for watching. Although this campaign ended up with a defeat, I am nonetheless glad that I could be done with it and I finished it instead of just dropping it in the middle. I do kind of feel a small urge to save Scam and drop the Italians as allies before the war started, just to see if I would be able to win this if there wasn't this urgency for me to go on the offensive. But I will refrain from doing so because I feel like it would devalue the point of the run. In fact, I believe that these games are actually more fun precisely because of the possibility that you may be defeated at any time and have all your hard work go to waste, if that makes any sense. Because if something is fragile and you could lose it at any point, at any time, if you do not protect it, then it is obviously more valuable. Whereas if you can cheat and save Scam at any point that you feel that things are going down for you, that sort of devalues the uniqueness of each campaign. And I do believe that a defeat is a perfectly acceptable outcome for a campaign. Anyways, thanks for watching. And as always, I do hope that you will be looking forward for my next video. Goodbye, my lads. See you on the next one.